Hi everyone, welcome to my engineering channel. My name is Thomas, and in this first video about Matlab programming, I'm going to show you how to add multiple legends to a single plot. As you probably know, a single axis object can have only one single legend. So there is a trick how to plot multiple legends in your single figure object. So before we dive into the actual programming, let's have a look at the final result. I created a simple example that shows three different data sets. Each data set contains a variation of some function. For example, here, this is harmonic function. Then this is a variation of a linear function, and finally, variation of exponential function. I'm adding one more legend to show another trick, how to basically add a color code and your string text, which will refer to one of these data sets. So how this can be done, let's have a look at the code and let's recreate this figure again step by step. So let's delete this one. And let's start with creating a new figure and a new axis object. Let's position it here so we can see the code and the result. And then let's create the signals. So starting with the variation of the harmonic signal, and let's plot it. Don't forget to add these handles because we will need them later. Continuing with the data set B, which shows the variation of the linear function. Let's plot it. And finally, let's create data set C, which shows variation of the exponential function. And let's plot this signal. I added, for better viewing, I added excellent function to limit my plots only to 0.5 seconds. And then let's add some title and labels. And now we can create our first legend. So let's have a look how is it done. So I'm creating a legend in the first axis object, and I'm referring to the handles of the first data set. Then you can just simply add the text you would like to see. And you can add a location. I'm positioning it to the northeast. So it will look like this. In terms of the second legend, here comes the trick. So what we have to do is to create a dummy axis object. So I'm creating a dummy axis, and I'm basically using the position of the first axis object. It's this argument here, and I'm setting the visibility to off because I don't want to see the axis lines and so on. And then we can create the second legend. So we will refer to the axis, to the handle of the axis 2, and we can refer to the second data set, which is the linear function. So let's have a look how it looks like. Yeah, this is it. In terms of the third legend, I will just repeat basically the same. I will create a new axis, a dummy axis, and in the third legend, I will refer to this dummy axis, and I will use as a handles, I will use the third data set. Okay, and finally coming to the fourth legend. So starting similarly, so I will create fourth axis object, which is again a dummy object, but then I have to add also my dummy plots, because if I just use simply a handle, for example, of this first line, first plot, second plot and the third plot, it will be overwritten. So the text or the string would override basically these three. And so I would like to avoid that. So in order to avoid that, I have to add these dummy plots. And you can just simply use point, which is, for example, 0, 0 position. And then you can add the color code and line style that you would like to see in your final legend. So your final legend is actually created in the axis object number 4 and is referring to these dummy plots here. And then you can just add strings that you want to see in your final legend. And I'm positioning this final legend in the southeast. So let's create it. And that's it. This is a simple method how to plot multiple legends in a single plot. Thank you for watching.